Welcome to Clay Center Now. I'm Bob Melius with Clay County Economic Development Group, and I'm your host this afternoon. And what I'd like to do is introduce to you some of the members of AmeriCorps. It's a national service group that goes and does special projects. They're going to tell us a little bit more. Who I have here with me on my left here, we have Melanie Acevedo, Lucas Lemmer, and Auburn King, who are part of a team that are here in Clay Center doing some special projects. Can you guys tell me, whoever wants to share, a little bit about what AmeriCorps really is about?
AmeriCorps is about serving America through community service. So it's a 10-month service program where we go in groups of 8 to 12 to different communities and serve in a capacity that they need. So the different things we could be doing is youth development, conservation work, we could be doing construction, and some groups are even doing taxes.
Oh, so you got whatever is needed then is what the group is covering. So for those who are doing the taxes, are they trained for that then? Do you receive special training?
Yes, that group is receiving special training for about 3 weeks to do the taxes for people who are in need of doing them.
Okay. How did you guys learn about this program?
So for me, I learned it from my advisor at school because my school advertises it. And so once she gave me information, I went on the website and looked up, and then you apply for it. And it's a competitive process, but once you apply, you hear back of whether or not you got it. And then if you get invited to a certain campus, it's the first 3 weeks is kind of a period where you can either get accepted or sent. So once you get accepted, you get your first project assignment.
So what goes in the application? Is it just like a job application where you write, here's my work experience, here's some skills I have, or perhaps maybe an essay or references? What goes into the initial application?
So in the application, there's the normal application of previous work experience, a little bit about yourself, and then they ask you different skills that you have. There's a checklist of different things like environmental, youth skills, communication, public speaking, and then they ask you in the next round where you gained those skills and how have you used them already.
Okay.
And then that's kind of the essay questions on about you.
Okay. So when you get invited to that second round, is that where they do a little more face-to-face grilling, so to speak, of what you got to do and those talents that you have?
So the second round is on the application. So you fill out the applications and you select all the bubbles. And then on the next page, they ask you to expand on all of those skills that you have. And then they read your application, and then they call you and ask you if you're sure you want to be in the program, and they kind of tell you some of the things that are involved, and then you can accept or not. So things that are involved is you could be living in different situations, like you could be camping, or you could be on cots, or you would normally have a bed. Is that okay with you? You could have limited internet connectivity depending on where you're staying, and they just want to make sure that you're up for the service program as well.
Okay. And during that, you mentioned there's that second week, or the second part where it's 3 weeks of training. Is that what kind of taking place during that time, or is there another kind of weeding out process, like they stand all you up and say, okay, if you're below a certain height, you can't go because we only have equipment that fits certain people? Or
Yeah, so
how does that work?
Mainly our training for the first 3 weeks, and we do like PT, things like conflict resolution when we work as part of the team, diversity training, different project training based on if we're doing disaster relief or youth development, so we get training specific to our project. So it's the first 3 weeks to get us prepared for our project.
And do you form your teams at that time as well?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
During the training, we have temporary teams, which are only for a few days, so we switched out our teams quite a few times during that time, and then right before we left for our first project, we got our permanent teams for the first round, and then since this is our second project, we have new teams for that.
So you'll leave one project, and as you mentioned, you went to one site and you all got there and formed up, but then when the project was done, it was time for your next one. You reformed with a whole different group, almost essentially.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
I'm understanding? Did you keep anybody from your first groups?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few that's the same on each team, like 3 of the same, but it just gets a chance to be able to work with more people, and this will be our same permanent team for the 3rd and last round as well.
Okay, so well, that's good. Yeah, when you get a team that works together well,
Yeah.
we want to keep those things. So you were at that camp and they're training for whatever your next assignment is. Are you going to stay on those same kind of assignments? Because we're going to talk about in our next segment what you're actually doing here in Clay Center. But was that similar to what you did at your last assignment and possibly what you might do in your next one?
So a lot of us, the first round, had disaster relief. So we helped in different disasters in our region. So some of us were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, helping out with the flooding there. Some of us were in Texas and Houston area, helping out with the flooding there. And some of them were in Nebraska, helping out with the hurricane and floodings not the hurricane, the tornado and the floodings that happened there.
Okay. So your training is going to, your initial training is going to basically carry you on, be able through whatever other assignments that you have.
Yeah.
So, okay. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what AmeriCorps is doing here in Clay Center. They got 2 really exciting projects that they're helping us out with. So stay tuned and hope that you come back.
You're invited to come visit, shop, and spend some time in beautiful Clay Center, Kansas. A Full House, located at 510 Dexter in Clay Center, is your upscale rent-to-own store with the lowest prices guaranteed. They only carry high-quality name-brand products that are made to last. At A Full House, they put the customer first by offering free delivery and setup of all merchandise, free relocation while renting their products, free loaner services, and the best price guaranteed. Stop into A Full House today for all your home furnishing needs. Shop beautiful Clay Center today and find what you've been looking for.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to Clay Center Now. I'm Bob Mealy, your host, and with me are some members of AmeriCorps who are in Clay Center working on some special projects, which they're going to share with us right now. Tell me, I know you're working at the Episcopal Church and you're also working at the museum. What kind of work are you doing at the Episcopal Church right now?
So at the church, we're doing construction and food security. Last week, we began on the construction of a shaft that will be used for a vertical platform lift to transport the food and other materials that the church needs for their outreach programs. And we're also going to be helping with the remodeling of their parish hall and the expansion of certain storage areas and office space. And just the help center there is used to help like unemployed and underemployed residents of Clay Center in obtaining a job. And then the food programs that we help participate in with them is Back Snacks, which is once a week, and it helps to provide supplemental meals for local elementary school kids. And then there is the Mobile Food Pantry, which is offered once a month, and it provides food to local families in Clay Center and surrounding areas as well. And then Senior Commodities, which is also once a month, and it services the lower income senior residents of Clay Center. So we're working on the construction aspect as well as food security for them.
Okay, so with the food, so you're actually part of doing the handouts.
Yeah.
Handing out food, distributing food to the folks and to the kids. Are you packing meals as well? We're talking about from the beginning, packing the meal to delivery?
The boxes get sent to the church, so we're mostly doing the distribution aspect of it. So with like Back Snacks, we're bringing the boxes to the schools, and with Senior Commodities, they come to the church, and then Mobile Food Pantry is at the local grocery store.
Okay, so obviously you're having a chance to interact with the locals.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's definitely great for us. They're very welcoming, and you can see that they're passionate in the cooperation among the different organizations and churches. You can definitely tell they care about serving the community.
Okay, good, great. Now, we're just talking, you guys were trained for disaster relief, and here you are at the Episcopal Church, and I'm thinking, is it really that bad? But clearly there's more, you've got other skills that you're bringing in there. Any particular skills or expertise that you're bringing to that construction work going on at the Episcopal Church?
So we did receive some training in between our 2 different projects to do some builds in food security. at our campus in Denver, as well as some of us are bringing in skills from outside of previous construction work.
Okay, good. Now we talk food security. We're talking about someone staying up all night watching the, the food boxes, or we're just talking about as that's part of your the distribution portion of the.
Yeah, it's mainly the distribution, not only like access to food, but access to healthy foods as well. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's another aspect of it.
So what else is going on then with the museum? Because I know right now you're probably still really focused on the Episcopal Church and the projects going on there. What's going on at the museum that you're involved with?
For the museum, since they're going to tear the old building down, we helped move it to its new location downtown. So when we first got here, we were moving furniture, boxes, display cases, putting it all in the warehouse. That's below the new museum. We did a lot of rearranging there, and inside the building we were doing lots of like renovation, I guess,
Okay.
where we tore down lots of walls, took down the ceiling in some places. We're starting to build some more walls for office space and storage. And then once we're done with all the building, we're going to be painting and setting up the exhibits as well to kind of finish it off.
Have you guys discovered anything like in boxes? You move a box and it's like, what's that? Box opens up like, that's not what I thought it was. Anything interesting like that so far? Did you
Yeah,
come
there
across?
was a lot of surgical equipment that we
Oh.
were looking at, and a lot of really cool artifacts, I guess. Lots of typewriters
Oh, yeah.
and cash registers that we thought were interesting.
And the different books as well.
Oh, yeah,
photos
lots of
the
books.
families, so.
Anyone able to give you any history over those items that you're walking out with? Like someone stops and says, hey, you know what you got there? No, what do I got? I got, that was so-and-so's typewriter that, oh, really? Anything like that so far?
Well, with the surgical equipment, they were saying it was an old hospital, so I think it came from there. So Jeff gives us some history of some of the facts, which kind of puts a more like real aspect to the artifacts, which we enjoy.
Yeah, big difference then when you clean out the garage and you find something and go, no historical value to that. But that's great that you're able to do that. I know for the museum, even for the work at the Episcopal Church, the programs that they have there have been valuable to our county and to our communities. And the work with the museum, it's been a challenge for them. So to have you guys come in here, I know it's been a godsend for them as well. Have there been any unique challenges with any of these projects? You go into a project and you plan and say, we're going to do this and this and this, and there's always going to be a hiccup that really causes everyone to kind of stop and have to do some problem solving. Have you had anything like that at either location?
Yeah, at the museum, during the first couple of weeks, there was a deadline to have the old museum moved out. So that was kind of a challenge for us because we were working with the museum and with also the moving company. So it was kind of difficult to deal with a time crunch and like different people's deadlines for different things. We had to work around that.
Okay, yeah, that can definitely be a challenge. Time was a huge issue with the move of the museum. We're going to end this portion of our program here. And when we come back, we're going to talk to these guys a little bit more about their personal experiences, the last assignment that they have, maybe find out a little bit more of the inside of what's going on here beyond the work that they're involved in. So stay tuned.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
At Eagle Communications, we deliver what matters to your business. Our services are fast, reliable, secure, and competitively priced, giving you more value for your hard-earned business dollar. With Eagle Communications, you're not just another number, you're part of our business family. And we deliver peace of mind with local technicians who provide dedicated system monitoring and support. Connect to something better. Call Eagle Communications and let's talk about what matters to your business.
Welcome back to Clay Center now, and I have with me members of AmeriCorps who have been sharing with us their experiences here, how they got here, what they've been doing, and what I'd like to ask right now is give us a little more detail about the stuff that's been going on inside, behind the scenes, the interesting stories. Have you guys had any, whether it was the last assignment that you were at or here, any real memorable experiences that, you're going to go home and these are going to be the stories you tell your grandkids, years down the road?
So for me, I was on an assignment outside of Houston working on disaster relief. And for me, it was just getting to learn about and meet the different homeowners and hearing their stories, because a lot of them were elderly or had a certain disability that they needed a team to help them with. But one in particular, it was the first home that we worked with, and it was a woman who lived alone, and during the flood, she would walk to the local church in water like up to her waist just to help out members of that community.
Wow.
And for her, it was really important to her to bring back like the happiness to her life. So we got to paint her house daisy yellow, because it was the color of her like childhood home. And then we also got to build her new steps and a railing outside, as well as a new lock to secure her home. So just being able to bring her back that like security was really memorable for me.
Oh, great. Any others so far?
Yeah, I was in Baton Rouge doing direct disaster relief for their flooding. And it was always just kind of hard to kind of deconstruct everyone's homes, because you're taking down a lot of their walls or all of their walls and leaving just the studs, or throwing out a lot of their personal belongings. And a lot of the hard stuff was we had to kind of think and remember is that that this is what's helping them rebuild their house into the next step of, getting back to being able to live in there. And it was always wonderful to talk to the homeowners and hear their struggles, and but see like how the community has come together and like fully just supporting all the people who need the help, who can't afford it.
Anything memorable for you, Oliver?
Yeah, I was also in Baton Rouge doing the same thing that he was, gutting houses. And for some, it was hard because we couldn't do all the work that needed to be done, because some homeowners, they would be spraying the walls for mold, but not knowing that just spraying the wall, the mold is inside it. So once we got everything out, once we took out all the drywall and the floors and everything, we couldn't spray because they sprayed before us, so mixing those chemicals would be very noxious and not safe for the homeowners or for us, so we couldn't finish their house. And it was hard to tell them that, because we're telling them we can't finish your house. Or sometimes they would want to save things that have been damaged and covered in mold by the flood, just because it had memories for them and they didn't want us to go into their special space and tear everything down. So it was hard because we couldn't finish it, and there would still be mold and other things that we couldn't fix because they didn't want us to.
Sure. Yeah, home is home, no matter whether you've been there for a year, and if you've been there for decades, there's things there that regardless of what may be damaged, whether fire, water, whatever, you're going to want to keep it as much as you can. After some of these experiences, I imagine there's probably been some other experiences, maybe traumatic, things you've seen and you don't discuss. What do you guys do to cope with some of these experiences that you have that are really, really stressful?
Well, we do have like assigned service learning initiators on our team. So they're responsible for just getting the team together and getting to learn more about the community that we're servicing. Mm-hmm. So at least for our team, like last round, getting to do those opportunities, like visiting certain places and museums in the area, or speaking with homeowners and seeing what their experience was, that helped our team realize and like reconfirm why we're there and seeing that the work we're doing actually matters. So That was
Indeed, yeah, it
definitely
does matter. It matters a lot more than you probably even fathom.
Yeah.
What about some bonds? No matter my different experiences, doesn't matter if you like the people you're with or not. You work with a group of people for an extended period of time, and there's a strong bond
Yeah.
that is formed. Have you guys had that experience? Any particular people? You want to give them a shout out that you've had that maybe even people that you never would have thought I would ever befriend them back at home, but here they
Yeah.
are. They're my right arm, literally. You know, anything like that for you guys?
I would just say, just a shout out to my whole first team. We were called E6, and we bonded so much, and we had so many just like jokes that were just between us that for sure would have made zero sense to anyone else. And just the bonding that we did because of that, and the appreciation that we've all gained just for everything that we own. And I know none of us are now taking for granted anything that we have.
Indeed. Any funny or embarrassing stories? You know, before we start all this stuff, I gave you some stuff in the back room. Anything funny or embarrassing that may have come up while you've been here or another assignment?
We definitely know who are the good and bad dancers. On the work site, we usually have some music going, so
And those who think they're the good dancers.
yeah.
And based on some of the things I've already heard, that stuff's well documented now.
Oh yeah.
All right, maybe we get a chance to share that online later as well. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Wish we could have had more time. The stories, definitely there's more to talk about with what AmeriCorps is doing here. If someone wants to get involved with AmeriCorps or maybe wants to donate, what is there a website that they can go to that they can share or a number they can call?
They can go to nationalservice.gov to look at the different programs that AmeriCorps has to offer, as well as to apply online.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for joining us here today, and thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.